This was not a big deal. What was it? I think it was Examiner that said, was it a bad pun? Yes. Was it embarrassing because it was calculating? Yes. Did she mean any disrespect to the president's son? That's, again, these are conservative outlets. And yet, how interesting, if you're so horrified by this, that Mike Pence brings it up and says, I don't know if you've heard this or not. I don't know. I can tell you if somebody mentioned one of my children, you tamp it down. Y'all, you just don't. You don't.
They'll make it worse.
Drag the story through the mud and act shocked and stunned and deeply sad. And by the way, Melania Trump, I'm still waiting for her to ask her husband to apologize for face-shaming my wife, lying about my wife, saying that she was bleeding badly from a facelift, taking a personal conversation, a private conversation, and she never did anything. I think she actually attacked Amika. And for her husband lying and face-shaming and talking about bleeding, you know, it's seriously, this is, these people have no room. Think about all the people that Donald Trump has attacked viciously. And Melania Trump has quietly sat by and said nothing.
The best, unless it's Donald Trump, her husband attacking people. A few things. I think a good rule that we abide by and everybody else, including witnesses, keep the names of minor children out of your mouth.
Keep them out.
Yeah.
Sharon, Sasha,
never done it.
Jenna, Barbara, whoever is in the White House, keep their names out of your mouth. That's a good place to start. I agree. I thought it was a lame pun that probably went over well in the faculty lounge at Stanford. So she tried it out in public. Didn't work out. I'm glad she apologized. I think another good rule is let's not put caveats in our apologies. If you feel like you did something wrong, just apologize for it. But at the end of all that, yes, of course, Republicans are making much, much more out of this.
Well, actually, again, dragging it out. They're horrified that his name got put out into the public arena. And yet, what do? They spend the rest of the day putting his name out in the public arena and trying to whip this. And Melania even goes into she's very partisan. She's very unfair and partisan.
If there was a way to calculate the faux outrage as a part of the gross domestic product, you know, the Republicans and the Trump administration, you would keep the economic boom running for years and years. You know, they love to stir up when they get anything to sink their teeth into. They love to make more of it than it's worth. And of course, they're not concerned about Barron Trump. They're concerned about scoring the political point they scored to try to score it over and over again. But I think your point is really the most important point of all these points. And I agree with everything Willie just said. But it is just the case that Donald Trump, through his own behavior, has left all of them with no moral standing to criticize anyone for anything that resembles an attack. And to be clear, the professor did not attack Barron Trump. But how can they, you know, beyond the cheap political points they're trying to score, how can you stand up with a straight face and complain about an attack by anyone related to Donald Trump when you see the attacks that Donald Trump has launched, not just on Mika Brzezinski, but on so many people? The shaming of women, the fat shaming that he's done, the mocking of the disabled reporter in the campaign. It's just such a record of Donald Trump mocking people and criticizing them in the most harshly personal terms. How you could work for that man and say, yeah, I'm going to go out now and attack one of your attackers.
Remember
doing
the
something
fat
you've done
shaming?
1,000 times.
You brought up the fat shaming of
a woman who had accused him of harassing her. Yes.
Yeah, fat shaming, and I never heard anything from Melania.
No, of course not.
Not anything.
Not a word.
Again, we all agree. Don't bring up. I hate to see it when people bring it up. I hated to see it when they bring up Amy Carter or when they bring up one of the Carter kids.
Chelsea. Take your pick.
Chelsea. You know, some horrible things were said about Chelsea Clinton. Horrible things said about Chelsea Clinton when she was younger. The Bush twins. I think they had some pictures of them from college that mom and dad would have preferred didn't get out. And you sit there looking at it going, oh, come on, why did you publish that? That was really out of bounds. So I get all this. But again, this was a wordplay. She shouldn't have done it. Just stay away. But at the same time, the faux outrage coming from people who, I mean, the guy's basically called me a murderer. I didn't hear Melania say, don't do that.
Hard and fast rule.
You could
keep the kids out of it.
Keep the kids out.
And also, listen, I mean, John referred to this. You could go on and on about the number of tweets and verbal explosions from the President of the United States about human beings in our midst. I always fall back on the Khan family,
Yeah.
who lost his
Exactly.
son.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now
Let's-
A mom
let's get real.
and dad
Yeah.
who
Talk about
lost
being best.
their son
Yeah.
in war.
Where was
and
Mike
he's,
Pence then?
Where was Melania
Yeah.
for that parent?
Where has Mike Pence been from the start? I mean, where has he been? What happened to him? Why is he not shocked by the daily outrages? I mean, it's unbelievable.
You mean Mike Pence, exemplar of Judeo-Christian values? That Mike Pence?
Well,
That one?
who
works for Donald Trump? That one?
Joining us.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.